There are a wide variety of egg shapes, so when they're younger too, they'll often have smaller eggs or they might be funnier shapes as they're getting into the rhythm of laying. And then they'll lay pretty uniform eggs depending on what their breed tends to lay. And then as they get older, they'll also sometimes have funnier shapes of eggs. Within each breed, you can have anything from, there are some really beautiful heritage chickens that lay white eggs. Brown egg layers are the most common, but white's getting some traction because people haven't had them so much in their backyard flocks. And then some of the brown egg layers will have more of a pinkish hue. So Barred Rock in our experience has had more of a pinkish hue to their brown. And then the Rhode Island Red has had generally a deep orangey brown colored, and they're often really big too. So the size will vary depending on the breed, and then also just depending on the genetics of that particular bird and how healthy they are and what they're gonna lay. Bantams in general will be a smaller egg. And you might think, oh, it's just gonna be a robin's egg, but sometimes it's a pretty considerable egg for how small the chicken is really neat. And then for the Easter egg colors, the greenish blue eggs, those are the Easter eggers, which are Americanas or Aracanas. And Americanas have the standard tail tuft in the back, and the true Aracanas have kind of a rounded, feathery rump. But they both lay the green-blue eggs, and they come in a really wide variety of colors. So anything from a creamy colored one to shades of gray, which is known as blue, to all kinds of golds and reds and more black overtones. And the most diversity of chicken colors comes with the Americana and Araucana. I haven't personally noticed a difference in taste between our chickens' eggs, but definitely during the growing season when it's the most light out, they're getting a lot more greens, they're getting a lot more seeds and insects, and their eggs are generally richer in yolk color and probably at their healthiest during the time that you've got the most fresh food available to supplement the food that you're feeding them regularly. But they always taste really delicious, and I think that you can end up getting really used to the eggs that you're getting, so they seem normal. And then if you run out or you have to bake something special and you have to go buy eggs, whatever the fanciest eggs are, usually if you're still getting them from the store, when you crack them open, they look incredibly pale compared to the ones that you were thinking looked normal and maybe not even that deep orangey color anymore. So the color is amazing and they taste delicious and they're fresh because they just came right from your little chicken house into your kitchen. Chickens can lay up to every 25 hours, so a lot of that has to do with their age, the time of year. So if they're younger and you've got ample daylight in the summer and they're not stressed out for any reason, they're really healthy and calm, they could lay up to every 25 hours, which is amazing. So just expecting that maybe you would say more like 5 eggs a week from a really active chicken at the right time of year, but it can be more. So there are some breeds that are bred to be really, really productive, and it seems like they're laying almost every day, and there might be other chickens who are kind of, today, and then I'm off for a couple days, and then I'm back on, and they can definitely vary. And people sometimes are saying, well, what if I have too many eggs? What will I do? Always an easy solution. There will always be a friend, a neighbor, a family member who is thrilled that you can't keep up with your eggs and super happy to give them to you. And at the same time, if your chickens are getting older or you're at a time in the season where your chickens are naturally molting and slowing down or stopping for the winter, you might have a friend who just got chicks and they're in a teenage state where they're laying a lot through the winter, and so maybe they'll end up sharing eggs with you at that time of year. The neat thing about chickens is that they're extremely cathartic. When you're watching them, they have these innate behaviors of scratching and looking for treats and relaxing, and when they take a dust bath, they can look really crazy and have a wing out and just look really wild, but they're super happy. And so they've got pretty simple, basic pleasures, and you can get hours, months, years, probably decades of enjoyment from watching and hanging out with your chickens. Very easygoing animals to keep and just give you so much back. So yeah, chickens are highly recommended.